Well, the NDP leadership race is starting to heat up. One Conservative leadership hopeful will not be at another debate, and Alberta's Premier is visiting Washington. Joining us with a look at all of this happening in This Week in Politics is the Globe and Mail's Laura Stone. Good morning to you, Laura.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
All right, last week when Peter Julian was on speaking with me, he, of course, was the first one to announce. He promised that before the deadline and before May, when Tom Mulcair finally is done leading the party, there would be a few more people joining. And he's right. So far, we've seen two more candidates join him in this race.
That's right. Peter Julian will not be debating himself at the first NDP leadership debate in a couple of weeks. Two more leadership hopefuls have joined in the past couple of days. We have Charlie Angus, who's a Northern Ontario MP, former punk rocker, very outspoken on Aboriginal rights. And just yesterday, we had a Quebec MP, Guy Caron. He's a former union economist. He joined the race as well, and he's promising a basic income for all Canadians. So it's a slow build, but at least three candidates and a few more thinking about the NDP leadership now.
All right, well, the most recent polls show that the NDP support is significantly lower than the Liberals. It's sitting in the teens. Can the addition of these two candidates help?
I think certainly it helps to have a robust leadership contest. It gets people more interested in the party. We've seen what's happened with the Conservative leadership race, 14 people in that one. I don't know if we'll get as many with the NDP. But I think they do see an opportunity to get back some of the progressive voters that may be abandoning the Liberals in the next election. People disappointed with their environmental policies, who don't want to see pipelines built in this country, who are disappointed in the Indigenous relationship, who are disappointed in the government abandoning electoral reform. So I think the NDP does see an opportunity for this. And of course, the more people in the race, the better. But they do have until October. So I think it will certainly get more people interested in the race.
All right, well, Alberta's Premier Rachel Notley is on a 3-day trip to Washington. Who's she seeing and what's she going down there for?
Well, she's there as part of Canada's full court press, their charm offensive with the United States, pushing trade, energy policy, and pipelines. So she's met with a couple of governors yesterday, the governors of Wyoming and Montana. Montana, of course, being a border state. So she's there as Justin Trudeau was a couple weeks ago, pushing the importance of the Canada-U.S. relationship. Something like 3/4 of Alberta's exports depend on the United States. So she's there pushing the importance of this relationship for both countries, and the federal government seems to be encouraging this. They want the provinces to get involved. There's talks of Ontario's Kathleen Wynne visiting Washington as well. British Columbia has appointed a trade envoy to talk about softwood lumber. So it's full on, not just at the federal level, but we're seeing provincial premiers getting involved as well. And we know that President Trump has talked about renegotiating NAFTA, so it's important for the provinces to get on board as well.
And this is usual, right, Laura? I mean, there's a new administration. It only makes sense that the premiers would go down and do their own meet and greets.
Well, I'm not quite sure that they would each time that there's a new administration, or maybe it wouldn't be as public as it is now. I think this is also a PR move on the part of Canada to, to show how important Canada is to the U.S., and they want that out there. So maybe it would have been done a little more quieter in the past, but they certainly want this publicized, and they want American officials to know that Canada is very important to their economy as well.
All right, speaking of publicity, Conservative candidate Kevin OLeary, we know, has pulled out of tonight's bilingual leadership debate. Does this damage his campaign, or is it sort of a lesser of two evils?
Well, it's difficult to say. This could help Kevin OLeary. He's hosting his own fireside chat at the exact same time as the leadership debate, but it adds fuel to his rivals to just slam him, which I expect they're going to do. 13 people are going to be talking about the absence of Kevin OLeary on that stage, and Conservative members may be a bit insulted that he's not attending their debate. Of course, he will be meeting with his own, his own audience at his own event. But, people, there was a bit of Twitter reaction yesterday from people just saying, look, who does this guy think he is? He's too good for us. So, we'll see. But he's obviously doing this because he thinks he's ahead in the race and he can afford to do it. He will be fined $10,000 against a security deposit for pulling out of this debate. But, he obviously thinks it's more beneficial for his campaign to meet one-on-one with people. And so that's what he'll be doing.
All right. The Globe and Mail's Laura Stone joining us from Ottawa today. Thanks, Laura.